Okay, and let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, we're both recording. We both have permission to use the raw file any way that we wish. Um, Nicholas, you're an extraordinary person. You came to my attention after I connected with Charlie Ward and other people around him. You're clearly a rising star in the alternative media and truth teller business. So I wanted to interview you about who you are and who your audience is and who your top people are and what you think is going on. And those are the four questions. So let's start with, tell us about you, Nicholas.
Well, where shall I start? I mean,
When you were born, that's the best place
when
to
I-
start. And then your education, and then what brought
that's
you
going to be
into
boring.
broadcasting.
Well, you know, I was born and raised in the UK in London. I went to school in London. I'm fully Greek Cypriot, but I was born and raised obviously here. Um, and then oh God, where do I start? I mean, I've done so many things. I actually went into music, so I was a singer at one stage, pursuing music. That was my passion. I've been on, in various TV shows in the past, and like the X Factor, and got quite far in that. In 2007, I was in the top 40. Um, and then I had a business, buying and selling gold and moving gold to Saudi Arabia. My customers were doing that, and we were working together for a while. And I've always known about the cabal. I woke up when I was 18 years old. Um, but then when I was about 23, I thought, there's nothing we can do about this. I was aware of it. I knew how corrupt they were. Everything was corrupt. For me, nothing was new when all this
How
came.
old were you on 9/11?
I was 11 years old.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Then I won't ask you where you were when JFK was assassinated. So what was your wake up moment, if you will, when you realized that there was a community of people interested in the truth, and you started being part of that group?
Well,
In other words, when did you come out publicly as a thinker and voice?
Right. So when I realized, I would say about 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I started my Facebook group. I gained many thousands on there, and it was taken down. And then I met Lee Hemington. He got me on the Charlie Ward show, and Charlie. It was a really good interview. Within a day, we got 80,000 views with that. And people messaging me saying they really like the questions, and you asked the right questions, and it's exactly what I was thinking. And there were just questions that I was curious about, and it was just something that was itching me. And then Lee Hemington said, well, you should do your own YouTube channel. And I said, no, it's not really who I am. It's not really what I want to do. I just want to, I just want this to be over with.
Do you have your own BitChute channel?
No, I do. Yeah.
Good, because I will tell you, I refuse to watch or post YouTubes because they will inevitably turn into empty gray boxes. Now, BitChute has some processing issues, but I think that's going to be solved. But YouTube for me is dead.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, we're moving on to other platforms right now. It's going well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because some people have been commenting saying, well, why does Nicholas, why does he say latest updates when this video is not really about latest updates? And the reason why I have that is because I just keep every video as Robert David Steele discusses latest updates with Nicholas VENIAMIN. And I do that for every video, because if I start putting details about what the video is about, then I might be taken down. So, and I just keep everything very ambiguous, very clean, just for YouTube. So I just want to say to the listeners, if it's not clear, I really do apologize. And that's really the reason why.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I think you're making a mistake, because search and tagging really matters. And so do thumbnails. So I would encourage you. I mean, you've grown explosively in the last 6 months, as have I. And I think the world is thirsty for the truth and for people who speak the truth or who at least attempt to discern the truth. I mean, Amazing Polly is one of my favorites, and she's a tremendous video editor as well as a researcher, not just an interviewer, which is what you and I tend to do. So are you publishing any kind of weekly newsletter? Do you have any kind of subscription service that people can sign up for?
I'm not doing any kind of subscription newsletters, anything like that. But I will be doing that in the future. But at the moment, I'm because we can't rely on YouTube and social media. I'm relying on people's email addresses so that we can keep in touch in the future if we were to ever be taken down, and I could keep them updated with news and alerts and stuff like that through emails. And I think that's the best way to contact me.
Do you have a PayPal or Stripe donation channel?
Nothing like that. I don't accept. I'm not personally. I don't. I'm in it because I'm in this because of I'm passionate about the truth.
So you're not a filthy rich musician for whom this is a hobby.
Well, the music, I was passionate about music. Again, I've never been a money person. I always do something because it's in my heart.
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So talk to me. Let's talk about your audience first, and then we'll talk about some of your greatest guests. So who do you think is in your audience?
I have no idea. I just know it's truthers and just
international. I mean, I have people from Australia to Zimbabwe. So do any countries stand out other than the UK?
Well, the US, of course, the US, New Zealand, Australia, Europe. It's just, I've seen the analytics on my YouTube, and the top one is the US, then it's the UK, then it's Australia, and then it's like the other countries around Europe, scattered around the world as well.
And so you don't have a demographic sense, because I tend to reach older people. And I'm quite fascinated because I'm also starting to get more diversity in my audience. So let's talk about your top 6 guests in terms of audience reactions that you could measure. So who is the absolute best guest you've ever had, and you're not allowed to name me?
Well, you are one of them, right? Even if you didn't say that, I would have said that anyway. You are one of them because you're a former CIA spy and you've got great experience, and you're an older man with experience, and I think that's so valuable. Charlie Ward, obviously, he's someone
a giant.
He's a giant right now. But not only because of the numbers, it's not because of the numbers so much, but more because of his involvement of moving gold and currencies around the world for the government, and his, what he was told, because he was told that the economy was going to be shut down, and he didn't take any notice until it actually happened, and thought, wow, I was told this. The other guy that I think is really good is Jason Q. He's very good with information, documents, and numerology, and WikiLeaks, and how he found that Hillary Clinton wanted to, manage Nibiru, and all this came out on WikiLeaks, And I thought, wow, I didn't believe it at first. But when he showed me the WikiLeaks emails, and I thought, wow, there's so much more than what we don't know, than what the eye meets. And he can document everything, and he's really factual about what he's talking about. And then he gives his opinion about what he thinks, but he's very clear about that, about what's fact and what's opinion.
I hope you'll send me his email, because I'm doing 3 movies. I'm sponsoring 3 movies with the surplus revenue from my subscribers. One on election fraud, one on Wall Street treason and crime. And this whole GameStop and Reddit thing has exploded and really helped the public understand how bad things are on Wall Street. And then the 3rd movie is on satanic pedophilia. So if you connect us, I'm sure there's a role for him as both a researcher and and someone to be interviewed. So who's your 3rd? Who else is there? Any women?
Well, they're no in particular order, but Mel K is the other one as well. I mean, I'm not putting them in order, by the way. These are just people that top 5, 6 people that I can just
No. I like Mel K very much, and I've linked her up with Sarah Carter, and she's trying to reach Tammy Lauren, and I think Mel K is going to end up being one of the top voices among conservative women. And the fact that she's Jewish is actually very, very helpful, because the Jews are starting to reject Zionism in a much more public manner. And that line is being drawn between the criminal Zionist state and the faith of Judaism, which intends to be loyal, patriotic in their country of citizenship. So beyond Mel K, who do you like?
One of my best guests is Donald Trump.
Yeah, he likes you too.
Yeah, does he? I wish. Maybe one day.
Well, the day you can guarantee him a hole in one every third hole on a 3-par, he'll talk to you.
Do you know what? I want to put this out there. I just want to put it out there, Robert. I would love to be the interviewer that interviews the New Republic Party, Donald Trump being the president, and I'm always executing, squeezing out the information the way I would like to get it out, unbiasedly, and for the American people, the truth to the people. I would love that.
Well, let me interrupt you and say 2 quick things. First off, Trump has disavowed the Patriot Party, which was started by a nobody in Georgia, who falsely claimed that the Trump campaign, which had raised $450 million, was affiliated with it. Cynthia McKinney and I have communicated to the president and his close allies that it should be about people, not parties. And our tagline is authentic, inclusive, and truthful. We're also making moves to bring the Sandinistas, the populists of the left, together with the Trumpers, the populists of the right, and actually have a people populist movement. And we also want to give the Libertarians, the Independents, the Greens, the Constitution Party, the Justice Party, even the Working Families Party that is led by that idiot in New York, Bill de Blasio. We want everybody to have a fair share of congressional seats in 2022. And that's one of the reasons I'm making this movie. Now, you probably know that I did propose to the president a Trump studio that would actually have people, generally U.S. citizens, but we would have an international cadre also. We're planning to re-educate the entire world, 1 7-minute video at a time on every topic. So when you say Donald Trump is your favorite guest, I take it you mean you leverage his appearances. How do you do that? How do you decide what matters?
Would you mean what matters in what respect?
Yeah, when you pick a video or when you pick a Donald Trump thing to then feature on your show and comment on, how do you pick it? What is your guiding framework for what matters?
Well, I don't know how to put it in words, but I know a good vision in my head. I know what brush to use to paint the picture for the people that are listening. It's all about what people need to know, really. Where we're going, where we came from, the curiousness that people have, things that are not really answered, things that Donald Trump has. I'm confident if I interview Donald J. Trump, I'm confident he will be answering things that he's never, ever said on camera before. Because the way I will angle the questions, and it will be to his favor, not biasly, but it would be very neutral in order for him to give him the flexibility and respect.
I'm pretty sure at least Juan Osavin and 2 or 3 other people that are close to Trump might see this video. So what 3 questions come to mind that you would like Donald Trump to answer today?
One of the questions I would like to ask him as a beginning question, one of the ones in the beginning would be maybe, you're taking my secrets.
No, actually, this is your best and fastest path to actually getting to ask him the questions.
You're right. Well, I have a structure when I'm in an interview. I have a structure. I see it like a timeline, like a journey. Okay. So in the beginning, the first question will probably be like, when did you ever, what were you doing? How old was you? And what did you think when you first found out, crap, there's globalists and there's satanic?
Probably when he was sitting next to Roy Cohn, who was his mentor in Satanic Pedophilia and Wall Street Crime, which I'm making 2 movies in addition to Election Fraud. I'm doing a short movie on Wall Street Treason and Crime and a short movie on Satanic Pedophilia, which is what Joaquim Hagopian has authored. I will tell you that from my knowledge of New York, I'm a son of New York, and I'm friends with Detective Jimmy Boots, who was the top detective in New York City for pedophilia and prostitution, who gives Trump a completely clean bill of health. Trump has also been an informant for the FBI on gambling and white collar crime and so forth. So I will tell you, my preliminary answer to that question on his behalf is he learned everything he needed to know about crime when he was first trained by his father and Roy Cohn, Cohn. And he learned more from Giuliani, who's now a total loss. Everyone should read Patrick Burns, B-R-Y, can't even spell it, but you know who I'm talking about, the billionaire that tried to help Trump. He has a devastating piece on Giuliani and his girl Friday, who he calls him mediocrity. I think Trump also drew on his uncle, who processed John Tesla's papers.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that Trump has known a great deal. And finally, I will tell you, I think that Trump and John F. Kennedy Jr. formed an alliance in the 1980s, if not the 1990s. And I hope you get a chance to interview both of them in the near future.
I would love to.
Now, so what is the second question that would come to mind?
I'm going to be very honest with you. Now, when I interview people, I think, wow, he's a great interviewer. Wow, great questions. Even with Charlie and other people, I never plan my questions.
Okay.
They're always what's itching me. It's what's itching me. It's where I feel emotional about.
Do you have an itch to ask me a question right now?
The other thing I was going to say, Robert, was the questions that I have are basically depends what they tell me in the interview and where they stir it, because most of the questions that I have are merely because they've just given me the question in my head.
You're in a conversation rather than a scripted scenario.
Yeah.
So who else have you interviewed that you think my audience should be aware of so that they come to your channel?
God, let me have a look at God. Mel K, Jason Q are very, very good. Gene Decode is another one. I'm having him this Monday. I've got him, actually, I'm going to tell everyone this and everyone's going to love this. I've got Gene Decode every Mondays. Right?
Yeah, I've heard good things about him. That's very good.
He's very good.
Are there any people you watch? For example, do you watch Amazing Polly?
Do you know what? She rings a bell, but I don't recall her.
She's the blonde Canadian that she does very good holistic thinking, very good research, and then she's a superb video editor, which I am not. And so she's got the complete package. And I'm always looking for people who have actually done research and aren't just doing interviews. And right now, Amazing Polly is my #1 in the world. I like her very much. So let me ask you this as we kind of draw to a close. What the fuck happened in the United States of America in the election?
If I was to give my humble opinion and think logically, right, and put it very simply, is all of this it's supposed to happen to wake people up, to build up public opinion. That's what Trump, I think, wants, to build up public opinion for people can see what Biden is doing. I mean, think about it. How many people now have turned who regret voting for Biden, who also don't like Trump, but then you get a percentage of those people that voted for Biden who are now Trump supporters.
Do you have a view on whether Biden is alive or whether there are multiple Bidens?
I don't know about that, but I can tell you that the Biden we see today is not the real Biden. Just look at the ears, look at the width of the face. It's not as square, and also the eyes. The old Biden was so much more evil. You just look, the eyes are the windows to the soul. If you can see it, then you will see it. You will know.
I'm willing to buy into that. Now, there's a lot of talk. In fact, here in Washington, D.C., hotel rooms at the Trump Hotel are said to be costing 4 times more than usual, $3,000 a night instead of this might be a junior suite, $3,000 a night instead of $650 to $750 for the period 1 through 7 March. Do you have any gut sense from your perch, from the people you talk to, which are different from the people I talk to? Do you have any feeling for how things will play out in the United States in the next 90 days?
Wow. I'll be honest with you. only less than 10 people actually know what's going to happen. If I can only guess, my guess is as good as yours. But the fact that they've raised the prices, if you money talks, and when you look at those prices, I mean, I think you've got your answer. Why? Who's going to be there for the inauguration? We need to stay there, right? I've basically booked my hotel already, just in case. I have.
Well, that's excellent, but I don't know if we'll let you in the country.
I've done
So
it just in case. I booked it just in
you
case.
you may be on a watch list. Right now, the airports are still controlled by the Zionists on behalf of the deep state, and there's one of the things that we worry about a lot is the fact that they're actually corrupting databases. They're putting people on no-fly lists that are not being put on the no-fly list by the official U.S. government. They're being put on the no-fly list by Zionist penetrations of the homeland security and so forth. We have an enormous counterintelligence campaign in front of us for the next 4 years. And a lot of people are going to have to be cleaned out. And I'm not just talking the top 1,000 corrupt bankers and politicians. I'm talking people at every level who are loyal to the Freemasons, the Knights of Malta, the Mossad, MI5, MI6, and so forth. We need to process 100% of what we have in NSA. And I will just tell the people that love you, because you'll be posting this to your audience, that NSA has every email, every game chat, every text, every phone call, and every banking transaction, including all of the offshore banking transactions. They just
I
haven't
want to.
processed them.
It's music to my ears. I want to break dance when I'm hearing all this. You know, when all this corruption is eradicated.
Well, I don't know if Ezra Cohen actually posted an extract from my appearance in Thousand Pieces, but I had a very good segment in Thousand Pieces where I said this. And at the end of it, I said, there is no escaping. You have to make the deal or die. And that little bit was posted by someone at Gab, at Ezra Ghost or something like that. So I'm not at all sure it was Ezra Cohen himself. I hope so, because I think I and Ezra Cohen and Mike Flynn should be doing some business along with Bill Binney in the future. But the bottom line is I'm friends with Bill Binney. I respect Bill Binney very much, and we have it all. There is no escaping justice going forward. What was needed was Donald Trump as the trigger puller. And now I think the white hats are in good shape. And you have done, I think, a very good job with Charlie Ward and Simon Parks and Martin Geddes and others. You should interview Martin Geddes on his book, which I want to show you.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know.
I am buying this book 10 at a time and giving it out. And I wrote the
Open your
forward
mind.
to this book. And it's a book that is about evil and how we are defeating evil. So, Nicholas, I want to draw to a close here, and I really ask you for help. What would you like to talk about in the final 5 minutes that will give my audience a better appreciation for you and perhaps give your audience something they haven't seen before from you? Please don't take off your clothes.
Honestly, I'm very open-minded. I listen to all the constructive feedback that comes from everyone. And Robert, you know, I love and respect you. You know, so if you have anyone that you just want to pass my way and interview, just let me know. Let me know. I'm open arms to anyone, anyone. So there's nothing here. This platform is for everyone to come on, and people can decide for themselves.
How many
And
Black people have you interviewed?
quite a few, quite a few.
Who can name the top two?
There's one guy. There's one. Have you heard of Errol? They
No.
come. Errol and his boys, the boys of the children of Israelites, they come and we speak about, the Bible and stuff. They do Bible studies, so we do with them. They haven't come on the last. I should be having them today, but they haven't come for the last 2 weeks because they've been a few delays. But we usually have them every week.
I could send young Pharaoh your way. I could send young Pharaoh your way, and also Prime Minister. And
I've got Prime Minister. I've had him a few times.
Good. I like Prime Minister very much. He hates it when I tell him I slept with
Prime
black
Minister.
men.
Yeah.
You're missing all my funny jokes. Prime Minister hates it when I tell him I slept with black men. And then, of course, the punchline is in a Marine Corps barracks when we were in training together. Right. That's when I really understood that we have dark green Marines, light green Marines, and we all bleed red. And Cynthia McKinney, who just called me, I have to call her back when you and I are off here. Cynthia and I have moved, I think, Black patriots and white patriots closer together. And what I think is happening right now is there is a convergence, and all of this racism stuff is fake. It's contrived. The actual Black authentic people are very much patriotic Americans, and they despise Antifa and Black Lives Matter, both of which are Zionist funded and Zionist directed. So give us some closing comments. What would you, let's say you're about to die, okay? You're going to be dead in 5 minutes. What are your final words for the audience?
Bloody hell, I've never thought of that. You're putting me on the spot now.
That's what I do.
Love one another and just have faith in God. What can I say?
That's enough. We end on that. Love one another and have faith in God. Nicholas, God bless you. Bye.